Hello and welcome back to ManVFilm. It is a little bit late, of course we're into February, and I am just releasing my top 10 Blu-rays from Arrow Video for 2021. A bulk of these are still available, and there are some that I would strongly recommend getting, one I've been championing all year since I saw it. So I have 10 pretty great titles this year, and I've been pretty harsh on Arrow and some of their releases, but I've got 10 cracking titles here. Now there is some titles I've not brought with me to show off here, and one that I don't have, which we'll get to in a minute. So my number 10 is a bit of a cheat, because I put in a few titles in there, and that is the Argento 4K reissues. Now, they are reissues, they are slight upgrades from the Blu-rays. They were obviously jumping to a 4K picture, and some of them have been genuinely outstanding, particularly Deep Red looks absolutely wonderful. Now the remastered Blu-ray was really good as well, the 4K remaster, but the 4K disc just is astounding. And one thing I'm finding a lot with 4K discs is the incredible sound quality that's coming off them in this, just with the score, and it just made me smile. All three of the Argento 4Ks so far have been absolutely wonderful, and the kind of movie that I want to see get a 4K release. I just wish I hadn't had such a close Blu-ray release to that one. Number 9 on my list, another title that I discovered thanks to the Arrow player, that I may not have gave a shot to if I didn't have it, and one that I will pick up, but I haven't picked up as yet, and that is the absolutely wonderful Dinner in America, a kind of punk romance movie that has two amazing lead performances, that has such a wonderful score, that has a terrific song in the middle of it, that has just a sense of coming together of characters that you just want to see together. They're hilarious, they're funny, they're out there, they're wild and wacky and brash and just so enjoyable. If you haven't heard of Dinner in America, it is a standard release that they had this year, a new movie, and it's one of the best releases they had out this year. Number 8 on my list is a US only release, and that is Django 4K disc. I utterly love Django, Sergio Corbucci's absolute classic western, the man with a coffin with a machine gun in it. This one comes with Texas Adios Blu-ray, book, posters, all kind of fun stuff. It's an amazing movie in its own right. If you haven't seen Django, you are missing out. If you like westerns and you haven't seen it, get on it. Number 7 on my list, and this is, from now on, it's all box sets. The Arrow's box set game has been astounding in 2021. They look thoroughly just, it almost makes me want to just pick up every box set they put out if the quality is going to be this good. And the reason this is as late is there was a couple of sets I had to jump back and get. I wasn't initially interested in, but watched and loved. So number 7, like I said, is Years of Lead, Poliziotti movies, 5. Some of these were terrific, some were just merely good, which is just showing you the quality of the sets in here. If you're looking to get into those kind of movies, Years of Lead is pretty great. All these box sets are they're either still in limited edition or they have a standard edition reprint. If you're interested in Poliziotti movies, Eurocrime, this is a great set to get started off. I think my favourite in it was probably No, the Case is Happily Resolved, which is probably the odd one out in all the movies, but just kind of tickled my sensibilities. One that I just finished watching with the reviews to come, and that is Cold War Creatures, 4 films by Sam Katzman, the producer. Now this has a Creature with the Atom Brain, The Werewolf, Zombies of Muratal, and The Giant Claw. All 50s B movies, science fiction leaning into horror, movies that, although the production values aren't great, they have a sense of great storytelling about them. They always jump into the story at the right moment. You don't have to have a precursor of 40 minutes of getting to where you know the story is going to get to. It jumps in right where it has to, like the Creature from with the Atom Brain jumps into the creature already being there and doing its first attack. The werewolf, again, the person's already a werewolf in this one. Zombies of Mau Tao. The first scene is somebody running over a zombie. It just jumps straight into the story. There's no preamble, and they're so excitingly fun. One set that I had trouble placing because of one reason we'll get to, and that is the Yokai monster set. I loved 3/4 of this set. It's got 4 movies on it. It's got the originals from 68, 69, which is 100 Monsters, Spooky Warfare, and Along with Ghosts. 3 tremendous movies that I just found to be fantastic, incredibly fun, creative, very atmospheric, and the transfers looked utterly amazing. Extras, tremendous. And then we have Takeshi Miike's, whom a director I love, who did 2006's The Great War, The Great Yokai War. Hated that movie. It's a movie I'll never watch again. It just kind of detracted. I mean, it's a nice, curious oddity to have in the box set, but it's unnecessary, and it's not one that I am ever going to go back and watch again. I just didn't like that version of it. I liked the more concise late 60s versions of these movies, which were pretty terrific. Next up, number 4 on my list, we have Vengeance Trails, 4 classic spaghetti westerns. Massacre Time, My Name is Pecos, Bandidos, and God Said to Cain. 4 terrific movies, and this was one of those sets where every movie seemed to get better, and they started off really good, and they're violent, they're very different to what I expected. They tackle some really great themes. They all look fantastic, and they all kind of tackle their tales very differently, whether it be straight up action or a revenge story, or a man with no name saving a town, or a kind of horror movie framed as a western, which was great with Klaus Kinski, and God Said to Cain, which was wonderful. Terrific set that I've been raving about and strongly recommend people pick up. Number 3 on my list, and a set that really caused me a massive headache, and that is Demons 1 and 2 4K. The movies look amazing. The extras are fantastic. The little silly things like the cinema ticket are a great addition to the set. The packaging is utterly horrible, and that's about all I'm going to say on it. I did a video talking about the movie and the packaging. I don't like it. I am threatening to sell that edition and pick up the standard 4Ks at some point, because I just hate going in and getting the movies out of that set. Demons 1 and 2 are fantastic Italian horror movies from the mind of Lamberto Bava and Dario Argento. They come together wonderfully well to create really spooky and terrifying films that kind of have a strong meta element to them, and just when you think things can't go any further, a helicopter falls through the roof. Fantastic movies. If you haven't seen, well worth picking up. One that should have been my number 1 of the year, but there was a set that was better in it. One that I have strongly recommended countless times on the community tab. I keep posting it whenever it's on a deal. The limited edition must be close to selling out now. It's £30. Please go and buy it. I'll put a link in the comment box where you can just go and get it if it's still available. And that is the Daimajin Trilogy. Wonderful design, great box, 3 movies that play much like kind of Godzilla movies. 75% is all about human tragedy and suffering, and in the last 25% is the Daimajin coming up and getting revenge for the people that have been pushed down by these tyrannical maniacs. First one's really great and solid. Second one's a lot more playful, as it hints towards the Daimajin constantly causing havoc and taking people down. And the third one is the Goonies in feudal Japan, as they kind of struggle across mountain ranges, being chased by bad guys, waiting on our big hero to come and save the day. And this limited edition comes with a 100-page illustrated collector's booklet, and it's got wonderful packaging that just looks amazing. an absolute outstanding release. I cannot underline that enough. Please pick it up. I think you'll love it. I was really surprised by this, and I have been championing it ever since. And number one on my list, and well, you know, it was probably going to be there, but I wanted to get through most of the movies and make up my own mind, and that is the Shawscope Shaw Brothers Volume 1 set, which has been an absolute treat. There hasn't been a bad movie in amongst them. They've all been super enjoyable. Some of them have been absolutely exemplary and just sheer smile inducing. The wealth of extras are just phenomenal. Putting on the discs to discover what extras are on there, sometimes related to Shaw Brothers, sometimes related to the movie itself, is just utterly delightful. The movies have never looked better. I've seen some of these before, and some of them just look utterly delightful. The characters are amazing. The action is exemplary. The packaging is utterly stunning, and I cannot wait for Volume 2. Bring it on. So there we have it. Lots of box sets, all of which have been super enjoyable, all which make me eager to see what kind of box sets Arrow are releasing this year. Whereas their single movie output might not be great, their reissues might not be fantastic, I have found lots to enjoy in Arrow this year. Here's hoping 2022 picks up just where they left off. Thanks for watching. As always, let me know your favourite Arrow release of the year in the comment box below, or one that you think people must search out. I would love to know your opinion on that. As always, there's more content up here. You want to see more of my stuff, if you click that like button, I'll make sure my Arrow top 10 list for 2022 comes much sooner next year. And of course, if you want to support me, you can join the Patreon or the membership program. That would be just amazing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.